Hello, this is the Getting Started with PAC Part 3. In this video, I'll be opening the firmware project in Keil, and I'll show you how to set up the Keil environment by installing the correct device pack. Picking up from the previous video, I'm in the FOC firmware project directory. You'll notice the firmware package is organized by device family, mainly PAC52XX and PAC55XX family devices. The key idea is to choose the folder that matches your evaluation board. In my case, I'm using the PAC55724, so I'm going with the PAC55XX folder. But before we dive into the project folder, I want to point out one important directory, the resources folder. This folder includes several helpful PDF files covering the features as well as the motor position methods. And if you're brand new to the platform, I strongly recommend reading these in this order. First, the Getting Started guide. Next is the FOC firmware overview. And lastly, the FOC tuning guide. All right, now let's go back to the PAC55 folder and open the project. So inside the correct family folder, you'll find project directories for multiple IDEs. You have your Keil, IAR, and Eclipse. Each IDE has its own dedicated project file inside the firmware package. For this tutorial, I'm using Keil. Now you may notice there are two Keil project options. This is usually related to ARM compiler version capability. So Keil often defaults to ARM compiler 6. So here's the rule. If your project requires compiler 6, go ahead and open the project labeled for compiler 6. If your project requires compiler 5, you'll need to install ARM compiler version 5.06, update 6, build 750. And this is directly from the ARM's website. So I'll be using compiler 6, so let's go ahead and open here. Here you'll find the Keil project. Let's go ahead and open. At this point, the project should open in Keil. You should see the FOC source code tree visible on the left. And if Keil prompts you with something like missing device or device not found, don't worry, that just means the device support pack isn't installed yet. We'll fix that now. So Keil uses something called device packs. The device pack contains the device support files that Keil needs to compile for the pack device, as well as to program it correctly. So let's go ahead and open the pack installer by going here. And here is the pack installer window. In the pack installer, look at the left panel and expand active semi. Select the family that corresponds with your board. I'm using PAC55XX series. Navigate to the right side. You should see device specific active semi PAC55XX. It should say install. I already have it installed, so it shows as up to date. Once that finishes, your Keil environment is set up and ready. At this point, Keil is prepared to compile and program your EVK. In the next video, we'll go into the build settings, select the JLink as the debugger, then build and flash the firmware over SWD.